First on Fox. This is your Fox Fort Wayne forecast first.
I'm Marshall McConnell in for Kenny Berg. A powerful storm ripped through our area today, leaving behind some wind damage. You can see the storm has passed us now on our satellite map. We are seeing some cloudy skies tonight. When you wake up in the morning, though, it's going to be sunny with a temperature of 45 degrees. The full forecast is just ahead on Fox Fort Wayne News, first at 10.
End of October blast. Furious winds pummeled northeast Indiana and northwest Ohio.
It did a lot of damage, and I think we've got a lot of cleanup to do.
Fox Fort Wayne with our neighbors cleaning up after the storm. Pay raise, pushback. City Council debating the mayor's plan to boost salaries for city workers. Fox Fort Wayne with the latest from tonight's meeting. Higher taxes or fewer teachers? A local district's tough choice.
We have no other way to increase our revenue.
Fox Fort Wayne and East Allen County's difficult decision.
This is Fox Fort Wayne News, first at 10. Good evening, I'm Jim Blue. Wicked winds blasted the region during the past 15 hours. The National Weather Service confirms at least 5 local tornadoes, 2 in Huntington County, 1 each in Whitley and Wabash counties, plus 1 in Van Wert County, Ohio. And now many people are faced with cleaning up. Fox Fort Wayne's Nadia Bashir was on the road in the wake of these storms, and Nadia shows us how storm victims are coping in Huntington County and in Fort Wayne.
When power went out at Gary Acre's business, he went home to a big surprise.
Pretty shocked and amazed, and it did a lot of damage, and I think we've got a lot of cleanup to do.
Gary lives in Bracken, about 20 miles west of Fort Wayne. The storm hit more than his home. It ripped the roof off his barn. A lot of the damage here has been compounded when the roof came flying off the barn. It slammed into this 100-pound fence. Many of Acre's neighbors got hit too. The wind grabbed a nearby grain bin and tossed it into Gary's lake. The top sat in a field a few hundred feet away. Making things worse, fallen power lines along surrounding roads blocked access to many who needed help.
I think we're pretty lucky. No one was at home. Everyone was working. The kids were in school, so pretty lucky.
In Fort Wayne, traffic lights went out along Route 24 near Coventry, backing up traffic. This accident happened at 24 and Homestead Road. Carmen Olinger works at Oli's Pizza on 24. She witnessed the traffic mess while waiting for power to come back.
Yeah, didn't think it was going to be this bad. So yeah, the winds were horrendous. It blew actually one of our signs off of the top of the building and stuff. So
Gary says neighbors will help each other to eventually get things back to normal. While the storm has passed, the damage will take much longer to fix. Nadia Bashir, Fox Fort Wayne News, first at 10.
And severe weather also caused damage near Grable. Along Antwerp Road, winds scattered power lines across fields. Several roads were blocked. Wind splintered an electric pole and tossed it across the street. Fences and buildings were damaged. Neighbors worked together to clean up the mess. Most intersections in Allen County have now been cleared. They're open to drivers, but crews have closed Sampson Road between Dawkins and Edgerton so workers can remove several train cars that were blown off the tracks. That work will take place overnight. A tornado touched down in Van Wert County, Ohio. The National Weather Service confirmed a twister that started about 2.5 miles west of Convoy, Ohio. The roof of a house was torn off and a large windmill was carried 40 yards. A shed across the street was destroyed and a neighboring house had severe roof damage. The tornado flattened a cornfield, crossed a road and destroyed a barn before lifting back off the ground. Indiana-Michigan Power says most homes and businesses that lost electricity during the storm can expect to have service restored by midnight. At the height of the outages, more than 11,000 homes were in the dark. Now, these strong winds are part of a massive storm system, one of the strongest on record. It cranked up across the Great Lakes this morning and sent a squall line racing across our region. Fox Fort Wayne weather specialist Marshall McConnell has been tracking these storms since last night. Marshall, it was quite a day.
It was. You know, it really kicked off this morning around 9 a.m. That's when we started seeing a lot of it. We made sure to get this video so we could show you what that storm looked like as it pushed through our area today. Again, the biggest part of it lasted about 2.5 hours from 9 a.m. to about 11:30. Every county in our viewing area was either under a tornado warning or a thunderstorm warning, most of them under a tornado warning. And as Jim said, we did have 5 tornado touchdowns. You can see there how widespread this storm was, not only from north to south, but as it continued to move east. And tomorrow it's going to die off into Ontario. So it's really going to start losing power pretty soon.
All right, Marshall, we'll check back in with you in just a little while. Fort Wayne City Council has approved next year's budget, but not without cutting more than $3 million first. And cutting some jobs, too. But city employees will get a small raise. Daniel Woodruff just returned from the meeting. He joins us live now with the latest. Daniel?
Yeah, Jim, City Council looked at about 24 possible cuts tonight. It took hours to go through them. In the end, they approved 6 of them. Let's go and take a look at what they did cut. Council voted to cut hydrant rental for Public Works, which was the biggest cut of the night. They also eliminated 2 positions from the mayor's office, a 311 call center manager who had not yet been hired, and a legislative and business liaison, which is currently filled. Now, elected officials, including the mayor, council, and the city clerk, will not get a pay raise next year. And to top it off, council cut the clerk's travel budget by $2,500, making that about a $3 million batch of cuts. Now, the mayor's office did win a major victory tonight, actually, with council approving a 1% pay raise for all city employees. It passed narrowly 5-4.
I think in light of the services that have been delivered, the savings we've been able to save the city, we need to continue to reward employees for the good work. And a 1% increase is a modest increase, and we're very pleased that it did pass.
Now, I mentioned it passed 5-4. Council President Marty Bender did vote for the pay raise, although he is a city employee and will benefit from it. Jim?
All right, Daniel Woodruff, it has been a busy night for the council. They voted to get started on renovating Renaissance Square as well. That is a change in course from just 2 weeks ago. Council had rejected a contract to CCI Commercial Construction because it wasn't the lowest overall bidder. And that stirred up quite a bit of controversy, but last week, city officials promised to review the way the city awards contracts, and with that assurance, some council members switched their votes. The city hopes to start moving into Renaissance Square next year. City Council President Marty Bender was back in his chair tonight after some time in the hospital. He received a warm welcome from his colleagues. Bender went to the hospital almost 2 weeks ago after he became ill at a restaurant. Good to see him back. Fort Wayne police are investigating a shoe store robbery. They say they need some help, too. Last Wednesday, 2 men entered the shoe show on East Pettit posing as shoppers. They approached the cashier and one pulled a gun. They demanded money and then fled on foot. One robber is described as a black man in his 20s, about 6'3". He was wearing a white T-shirt with lettering and a tan baseball cap. The second robber is also a black man in his 20s, about 5'11". He was wearing a red hat with the letter A on the front, a dark brown coat, and blue jeans. Call the cops if you can help. Next Tuesday, East Allen County residents will vote on whether to increase their property taxes. That referendum is designed to eliminate the school district's deficit. The redesigned plan, passed early this month, would save nearly $7 million, and the referendum would eliminate the remaining $1.2 million shortfall. Fox Fort Wayne's Kristen Mazer joins us now with more on this referendum. Kristen?
And Jim, it's important to first point out that even if the referendum doesn't pass next week, the redesign will still go on as planned. Now, also, both the redesign and referendum are completely separate, but they do share a common goal: do away with the deficit. Next week, East Allen residents will have 2 choices. 1, raise property taxes for the sake of education, or 2, oppose the hike and possibly face teacher cuts.
We believe that it's a good educational plan for our children, and it's also going to save us some money.
Earlier this month, the East Allen School Board passed a major district redesign. Some schools will close, others will be reconstructed. It will save $6.9 million. It's a big chunk of money, but not enough to get the district out of the hole. EACS still needs another $1.2 million. Officials say a referendum is the best solution.
We have no other way to increase our revenue.
The referendum will be placed on next Tuesday's ballot. If passed, it'll bring up to $8 million, enough to eliminate the district's deficit and also
hopefully make smaller class sizes, help us with our dual credits for our high school kids, summer school, technology, getting a lot going for our children.
Some residents say they're in favor of the hike.
If it's absolutely necessary, there's no other choices, I suppose we'd have to go for it.
But others are against it. In a statement, New Haven Mayor Terry McDonald says the referendum is, quote, the easy way out. So what would happen if the referendum doesn't pass?
If it doesn't pass, we're going to have to find $1.2 million in cuts.
So do you think extracurricular activities will be the first things to go then?
We try and keep it as far from the classroom as possible.
But teacher cuts would be a possibility.
The personnel and their benefits are 90-some% of our budget, so that would end up part of it, yes.
And with the referendum, an East Allen homeowner will be charged 37 cents per $100 of assessed value. Again, if it passes, EACS could bring in up to $8.1 million. If it fails, then it's back to the cutting board. Reporting live, Kristen Mazer, Fox Fort Wayne News, 1st at 10.
Windy City. Before it hit us, the storm pounded Chicago.
The wind just blew me away.
Well, umbrellas are useless.
Tonight, the path of destruction across the Midwest. Murderer on the run. 3 fugitives break out of prison.
They want north or south, or a combination, possibly split up.
The latest on the manhunt. And Music City Idols.
Because it's just a fun experience. It's not nothing that serious.
The AI judges invade Nashville. Fox Fort Wayne News, first at 10, is just getting started.
And the big storm might be gone, but the winds are going to be hanging around for a little while longer. I'll tell you about it after the break.